citizens speak out. People in countries across the globe continue to risk everything from livelihoods to personal safety as they march to demand greater human rights and other government reforms in the streets of Bahrain, Greece, Iraq, Libya, Mexico, Peru, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, and Yemen.
Amidst reports that Bahraini security forces are going house by house to arrest pro-democracy activists, Abdul Hadi Alkhawaja, former president of the Bahrain Center for Human Rights, was seized in the middle of the night, assaulted to the point of unconsciousness, and then taken from his house along with other relatives. Meanwhile, PressTV reported that Saudi citizens in the Bahraini cities of Qatif and Awamiyah marched in solidarity with fellow protesters calling for Saudi troops to leave the country.
On Friday, April 8th, more than 1 million people gathered in Egypt's Tahrir Square to express their concerns that some of the policies of the military caretaker government were going against the demands of citizens for greater democratic rights and reforms, and to also insist upon the legal trials of former leaders. In a show of support for fellow citizens, soldiers arrived in full uniform to speak on stage, despite warnings from their commanders that they would be put on trial if they did so.
To convey their solidarity with Palestinian brethren, protesters also raised Egyptian and Palestinian flags above the Israeli embassy. In doing so, they also called for a halt to the ill treatment of the Palestinian people by the Israeli government and for Egypt to permanently open the border crossing into Palestine.
Before dawn on Saturday morning, hundreds of security forces with armored vehicles surrounded and forcefully dispersed protesters in Tahrir Square, resulting in 6 deaths and at least 18 injuries, according to PressTV.
However, news of the event brought many more people back to the square.
As retaliatory violence continues between Israel and Palestine, PressTV reports that Israeli airstrikes on Gaza killed 4 more Palestinians Saturday, bringing the total death toll in Palestine to 19 since Thursday.
On Saturday, tens of thousands of Iraqis marched through the streets of Baghdad, calling for the immediate withdrawal of U.S. military forces following reports that visiting U.S. Secretary of Defense Robert Gates had spoken of extending U.S. military presence beyond the 2011 drawdown date if requested by the Iraqi government.
In Libya, the Interim Transitional National Council stated that an estimated 10,000 Libyans have lost their lives over the past few weeks to the violence of government forces. Meanwhile, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, which is overseeing the military intervention in Libya to protect innocent civilians, was joined in its previous apology by British Foreign Secretary William Hague, who also conveyed his country's sorrow for the deaths of 5 revolutionaries due to NATO airstrikes. A statement later issued by NATO spokesperson Oana Lungescu addressed the ultimate futility of a military approach, saying that an end to the conflict can only come through diplomatic means.
With our heartfelt sympathies for the suffering and irreplaceable loss of lives, we pray that all conflicts may cease through a choice of shared dignity, peace, and respect among all peoples.
In sorrowful response to these unfortunate world events, Supreme Master Ching Hai lovingly reminds, "If the road is wrong, the more we walk on it, the more we go wrong. Any leaders who committed harm to others should stop at once, sincerely repent to God, and act to redeem their mistaken deeds. Then they will be pardoned, even if humans can't forgive. Heaven will."